Hello and welcome to today's video where we are going to be diving into the human design of Madonna, who is a 5-1 sacral generator. So whether you have a vested interest in human design, whether you yourself are a generator or you have a 5-1 profile, you probably will do if you're following me, or simply if you are a Madonna fan, then welcome. You are more than welcome. I'm so excited to do this. Oh my goodness, there's so much to unpack. So I've wanted to do Madonna for a while. I did a very brief blog about her a few years ago and mentioned about her being a 5-1 and how she can so often fall from grace through her life, like literally be put, I always talk about this with a 5-1 profile. You get put on a pedestal and then you get burnt at the stake. And the time that I was I was writing about it, I can't remember what the award ceremony was, but it's a few years ago. She just had some surgery on her face. She was quite puffy. She looked very different. And literally she got absolutely slated for it. And I just thought it was so unfair, but also it just really was a good example of what can often happen to the 5-1 profile, because people will amplify, people basically project on you. They'll project their own opinions on you. So they'll set you up to be a certain person. And then when you don't show up like that, then you can fall from grace. But actually, the 5-1 profile is also very, very powerful, because it means that you're designed to play big, to be on big stages, to have huge influence. And certainly Madonna has got that in spades. So I am very excited to showcase this with you, really. I always put a caveat in. Madonna has not shared, I do not know Madonna. She has not shared her birth time with me. I have done my due diligence and my research as much as I can. It looks like all the stars are aligned, and we know what her day of birth is and where she was born. The time is always under question, but there seems to be a big consistency around it. And so I'm very happy that this is her human design chart. And certainly looking at her career, looking at her life, looking at the way that she shows up, it definitely endorses that. And she was born in August. So obviously she is a Leo, of course. Why would she not be? She has just recorded her first ever podcast interview with Shetty, which I think comes at a really opportune time, because what she's doing is she's opening up about her spiritual practices. She's speaking about how she works basically with law of attraction. I mean, she's talking about laws of the universe, how she manifests, how she creates, how she brings things into fruition, how she works in companionship and collaboration with universal powers, so that she's able to create this success, and then not just for selfish reasons, for it to be for herself, to share it with others. And it's just amazing. It's definitely what I teach. It's what I believe in. I just love that she's opening up and she's speaking about this. And guess what? She's talking about Kabbalah. Which is one of the beautiful ancient practices and methodologies and spiritual teachings that is made up with human design. So for those of you who are new to human design is based on astrology, Eastern and Western astrology. The Kabbalah, which incorporates the tree of life, the I Ching, which is this beautiful Chinese philosophy, quantum physics, and also the chakra system. Even though there are 7 chakras, there are 9 centers within human design. We're 9-centered beings because we are now our own gurus. We can make our own decisions. We are in the age of Aquarius. We're no longer reliant on following a leader and that leader making the decisions for us, even though as I'm recording this on October 1st, 2025, it's still happening around the world. But actually what we are doing as conscious beings is that we are moving out of that old hierarchical paradigm, which is in its death throes at the moment, and we are moving into this beautiful, or we have moved into this beautiful Aquarian age where it's all about information sharing, it's all about collaboration. And when she talks about Kabbalah, some people say Kabbalah, some people say Kabbalah, I say Kabbalah. Basically it means to receive. That's what it means. So this is about understanding you as a divine, as a divine being, and our relationship with the universe or God, and how we can collaborate together to bring things into fruition. And I love studying people like Madonna because regardless of what you think about her, she is highly successful. She has reinvented herself so many times. She is, for me personally, an incredible inspiration, and I know for many people around the world. But I just love to study successful people. How did that, like, how is that as aligned to their human design? And I would definitely do that. I would look at, obviously, understand your own human design, understand how you can create your version of success, and then look at the people that you admire, that you aspire to be. I don't aspire to be Madonna because she's a pop star. I can't sing for toffee, but I aspire to be her because she has created this wonderful life for herself. She lives life on her own terms. She definitely challenges the status quo. I love her sassiness, and I love the success that she has created. And I love that she is really open to sharing that with others. I really admire people that build wealth because they want to share it with others. They want to create those experiences for not just themselves, but for other people. So for me personally, that's why I admire her so much. I'd love to know in the comments below why you admire her and why you are watching this video and what you'd most like to learn. Okay, let's move into Madonna. I am seriously trying not to do really long videos at the moment. I would love to keep them to 15 minutes, but we're already at 7 minutes. So I'm gonna power through this. Dressed, I think, a bit like a children's TV presenter, but I've tried to be a bit 80s today to honor 80s Madonna. Every decade of Madonna is iconic. So I teach women how to be iconic. Madonna is iconic. She even brought out a song about it. So she is amazing. She is a generator. She is a 5-1 sacral generator. So her strategy as a generator is to respond to things, not to chase, not to push things forward, not to cajole. I mean, I'm sure she's done this in her career. I'm sure that she has. But actually, she does this interview that she's doing with Shetty. I definitely recommend that you go and watch it, listen to it. I'll put the link below, because she's talking there a lot about receiving and about really finding the love for herself. She said that she used to be a victim of others' opinions, and how many of us can relate to that, especially when you're going out there and wanting to be more visible in order to grow your influence, in order to grow your business, in order to position yourself as a thought leader. Very often we can get held back by the opinions of others. Look how many people have had opinions about Madonna, about her sexuality when she was young, about her sexuality now as she's older. You know, like when she was younger, how dare you create this, you know, take these photos and embrace your body and sexuality, how dare you? And now as she's older, how dare you, a woman of your age, you know, flaunt yourself sexually and have have partners who are younger than you, and show off your cleavage and open your legs. Like, she just gets absolutely panned and criticized for the way that she shows up as a woman. She gets criticized for her age, the way that she looks, the way that she dresses. She gets criticized for her music. She got criticized when she adopted her first son, David, from Malawi. I mean, but there is a funny thing to this as well, because I remember I went to Malawi for 3 weeks, not long after she had adopted her first son. And these Malawian people, these Malawian men were like, had t-shirts on that said, "Adopt me, Madonna." which I think was really funny. But yeah, so she gets criticized. So she has now not the victim of other people's opinions and criticism. How amazing is that? How freeing is that? She talks about self-forgiveness, about radical self-love. She talks about forgiving her brother. And you know, these are the things that if we truly want to be conscious, if we truly want to create success, you know, we stop being the victim. We stop blaming shit on other people. We take responsibility for our own shit. And we heal the relationships. We take our own ownership and the part that we played in relationships that might have broken down, that we want to repair. This radical forgiveness, radical self-forgiveness is a big part of my work. That's something that I do with my clients. I freaking love it. And I would definitely invite you to go and look at this yourself if you want to radically change, regardless of, you know, whether you want the wealth of Madonna or not. It's just, she has manifested that, and she's manifested that wealth and success because she wants to share it with others. So she has this wonderful generator energy, which means that she can go and go and go. She's like a generator bunny. When she's very high vibrational, she's successful. When she's very low vibrational, she is frustrated. She has a 5-1 profile. You can go and watch so many videos that I've recorded about the 5-1 profile, about the incredible, magnificent 5-1 profile. One of my best performing videos is why I'm a 5-1 profile fangirl, and I will put the link down there below. But basically the 5 is heretic, so that means that people will see you as the savior. And people definitely see Madonna as the savior. She has this real aura of leadership and influence. So they see you as the savior. They feel that you're going to be able to, you know, like solve all of their problems, and then they project on you. The world projects on you, basically. So when you don't live up to that other person's expectations, you will fall from grace. And obviously I've already spoken about that with Madonna, but it also means you have this significant influence. You're designed to play big. You're designed to be big. You are designed to tap into that expectation and projection from others and give people proven solutions in order for them to be able to you know, move forward with their lives. And of course, like, Madonna has not positioned herself as a coach or a mentor, even though she'd make an incredible one. But through her music, I feel like she has had a significant impact. She, you know, she's part of the culture. She's part of the culture ever since the 80s. Every single decade has featured Madonna. She has this wonderful longevity. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to witness. It's amazing to see how she reinvents herself. So, you know, I think that part of this is part of her line 5. Like, she'll, you know, she'll fall off the pedestal. She'll reinvent herself. She'll fall off the pedestal. Maybe this is a cycle that has to happen, so she doesn't stay the same old Madonna, right? She is constantly, she's very, she taps into culture. She really studies culture and the significance of that. And there is a real drive and mission behind her music and her messaging. And then the line 1, well, that's the strategist. That's her going and studying culture, studying her art, and then being able to bring that into fruition through her music on stage, through her designing, through her photography. I mean, follow her on socials. Her Instagram is like an art piece. So her profile really amplifies who she is and how she is able to bring her Incarnation cross into fruition. The Incarnation cross is her broader purpose. So it doesn't matter what role she takes in life. she will be living out her Incarnation cross, which is the left angle cross of revolution. Now, of course, whenever I run anyone's human design chart and I have a snippet of information about them already, I clap my hands in glee. And I did the same for Madonna's Incarnation cross. I'm like, yes, of course it's the left angle cross of revolution. This is about provocation, challenging the status quo. Doesn't she do this so well? This is about having influence on a global scale. So she is here to start a revolution. Well, not actually start it, because she's not a manifester, but she's responding to something and then initiating in response to and creating a revolution. Really challenging the status quo. The other thing that I just wanted to point out were her centers. She's very defined down her centers. You see, she's got definition in her centers. This is consistent energy. This is where she shows up consistently. This is her I am statement. She's got a defined head, Ashna, a throat, a G center, a sacral. Very, very grounded down the center. So very confident and specific with her ideas. She's able to have these ideas, conceptualize them, manifest them through her throat. And how beautiful that she's able to do that through her throat, through her own self-expression. And of course, she's a singer, so she's able to sing that and she's able to speak that. And then that is tied into her G center, which is very defined, obviously, her sense of self, her self-direction, her self-love. And then all of that connected to that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sacral energy. Although she does have a split definition, it's not single definition, so they're not all connected to one another, but she does have this beautiful energy down the center. One of the things that I wanted to point out to you is that she has gate 2 and 14 defined. So can I bring this in a little bit? I can. Okay, she's got other channels as well, but I just wanted to point this out to you. Well, maybe to her, she might be watching this. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? So she's got gate 2 here, gate 14 here. This is the channel of the beat. This is about living in the rhythm of a life's abundance, being able to manifest abundance by setting her own rules, not following anyone else's rules, setting her own rules. So she is a complete trendsetter. She's not following anyone else. She's making up her own rules and then following her own rules. And that is definitely, definitely reflected in her profile, in her centers, in her channels, in her defined gates. And then she has this wonderful open centers, okay, which makes her highly intuitive. These are the lessons that she's here to learn and leading others through that process. And that was beautifully demonstrated on the Jay Shetty podcast, because her heart, I always say this is the small but mighty. It's the smallest but the mightiest of all the centers. This is about self-value. This is ego. This is will. Very often when we have an undefined heart, I have an undefined heart, part of our life's lessons is learning how to value ourselves. Once we value ourselves, the whole world values us. And I believe that this is a big part of the work. Well, not that I believe, she told us in the Jay Shetty podcast that a big part of her spiritual awakening and spiritual journey was learning to, really value herself, not just love herself and accept herself, but value herself, see her value. Once you truly see your value, you don't give a shit about what other people think about you. I mean, you want to be... For me personally, I want people to like me. Of course I do. Of course you do. It's like human nature, but I don't hang my hat on it. She's not hanging her hat on it. She's like, you like me? You don't like me? I'm not really concerned about your opinion. I want to be able to inspire you. And of course, what she's doing is she's now sharing her learnings through this podcast, and I'm sure that she will continue to do this. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the next iteration of Madonna and seeing how she positions herself now, because she's been speaking about this, she's been open about it, she speaks about it very eloquently. So what's next for her? How is she going to position herself? Is she going to be like the next spiritual guru? I don't know. I always say the guru is dead. We are our inner guru, but she can definitely be a wonderful mentor and wisdom keeper. And I'd love to see where she takes this. The last thing that I just wanted to speak about before we get to time is markets. So, by the way, if you're new to human design and you want to download your own human design chart, you can do it on my website. I mean, this is on my website. Okay, so you just need to, let's have a look here. You just need to go over here and go up to your free book, your free chart, and that will help you. This is abigailrebecca.com website. Markets environment is all about going and doing transactions and going into a market environment specifically to be able to exchange information, to be able to exchange goods. And I did a human design reading for about Cardi B a few weeks ago. She was also markets, and it was interesting how that related to her career as an artist. And the same for Madonna. You know, this is you are in a transaction with other people, like you are exchanging goods, and that's what Madonna's doing. She exchanges her records, her music, her creativity, her art, her stage shows, and she exchanges it for money. I mean, it's currency. She's selling a product, she's selling a brand, and she does that so beautifully and powerfully through the Madonna brand. So there's so much more that I can talk about Madonna's design, but I can't be on here for hours, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'd really love to know your aha moments, your thoughts below. If as a 5-1 generator you can relate to that. As always, ask me any questions below. Have an amazing day. Take care. Bye.